Okay, Foundations Pre-Cal 10, here's a short video on slope of points. So we got a couple ways to do this. The big one here is given 2 points, we know this equation right here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And remember that those little ones and twos just mean 0.1 and 0.2. And you can choose which one to be which. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer. This just gives you the change in height because that's what your y values represent. And this gives you the change in length. And it's about doing this without having to see it visually. So all we do is plug into this equation. It might help you by pointing out which point you want to be which. So for this first example, I'm going to call this point 1. I'm going to call this point 2. I'll do it in yellow and then I'll swap them and do it in a different color. So y2 is 7 minus y1, which is 3, over my x values. So x2 is negative 2 minus 4. And what do I get here? I get 4 over negative 6, which is 2 over negative 3. So you can see that the denominator in this case is negative. Now, if I were to switch these around and say, okay, well, I'm going to call that point 2 and that point 1, what we get this time is we get 3 minus 7 over 4 minus negative 2, which is negative 4 over 6, which is still negative 2 over 3. The negative this time just happens to be in the numerator. So it makes no difference because both of these things are equal to negative 2/3, right? So it doesn't matter which is point 1, doesn't matter which is point 2, as long as you're consistent. So let's do another one. So I'm going to say, and this might help you, like do this, point 2, point 1. Well, that means 6 minus negative 1 over 2 minus negative 5 gives me 7 over 7, which gives me a slope of 1. So you get your slope just by calculating points. Another one. Okay, well, let's say, okay, point 2, point 1. Well, negative 1 minus negative 1 over 2 minus 5 gives me 0 over negative 3. And what does 0 over negative 3 mean? Well, that means I have 0, which means I have a horizontal line. And if you just think about this graphically, we have 5, negative 1, and we have 2, negative 1, right? Same y values means horizontal line. And we can see that because of this equation relationship. Okay, what about this one? Well, let's say again, point 2, point 1. Well, 7 minus negative 4 over 5 minus 5 gives me 11 over 0. And this is not allowed, undefined, because this is going to be a vertical line. Again, think visually. We're at 5, negative 4, and we're at 5, positive 7. In this case, same x values. So the equation helps you. You don't have to think too hard about it. So it's all about plugging in. This connects to section 2.1. Remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, change in height over change in length.